Hi everyone, this is Lee Carroll. I'm talking to you from our studio, and just wanted to mention a couple of things because people have asked, and just personally mention some things. Monika and I went to Egypt all through March. It was like a 30-day event. And in that time, most of you know that because you saw, or if you didn't, you should, we did 19 fun little short videos for you. But it came with a price, and that is we had to pre-record all of the Healing Wednesday programs in advance for March, which we did. The war that we are now having on this planet, surprisingly to most of us, happened almost as soon as we were done recording and we were going to Egypt. It's one of the interesting things I found. If you listen back to some of those of you who are members have the ability to listen to that which was the replays of March, and you'll find that, interestingly enough, it's almost as though Kryon knew it was going to happen because some of the actual channels were literally about that potential. Well, that's not what I want to talk about. What I want to talk about is how this has shocked and surprised us all of us. Even though Kryon had talked about these kinds of things happening, we didn't expect it to happen this way. And I just wanted to mention it, and I want to talk about it. And I want to talk about it in a way that won't offend anybody politically, or rights or wrongs, or do's or don'ts, or countries, but I have to say it. I've been in Russia 8 times. I've been in the Ukraine twice. I have stood where there are explosions happening right now. What I saw in both those countries, it was people just like us. In Russia, they love their families. They want peace just as much as we want it, honestly. We saw happiness and good times and people wanting the very same thing for their kids. And in Ukraine, when we were there, I may think my first time I was there, perhaps the second time, they were actually celebrating their independence from the Soviet bloc. So, you know, we see all of these things, but what we see in common is people who want what we want. What's happening today is not what either country, in my opinion, their population wants. And yet there it is. And it's stark, it's in our face, it's horrible. And right away, I was just smacked with how old it was. Some people have said, like, welcome to 1943. That's the way it looks. It's just awful. And the things that we see, and having been there, it just strikes you as unconscionable. It strikes you as not of this world anymore. It's like an old newsreel. So I want to address it. I want to address what Kryon has said about it specifically, just so you know. This was not expected by us, and yet if you listen to what Kryon has said in these last years, there's 2 steps forward, 1 step backward. But the biggest thing he said, a shift was coming. A shift was coming. He said that so many years before we got it. And then when it started gradually. And the 2012 experience with the Mayan calendar, with the precession of the equinoxes, with all of these things that the indigenous talked about, we started to see a gradual change in what we wanted and what the planet wanted. And it showed in our culture, and it showed in so many places that we're starting to grow up and care about each other a little more. And the dirt started showing more. And what I mean by that, things that were always there, the biases that were always there, the inequalities that were always there, the abuse of kids that was always there, it started to show. And we started to look at it and go, this is unacceptable, what we can do about it, and we just barely are on that path. But that's new. And it's the first time that this has ever happened in hundreds and hundreds of years where it actually showed, and we are starting to try our best within our culture and our society to be kinder to each other and to have more compassion, and the organizations the same. We're expecting more of our politicians, and we're not getting it yet perhaps, but it will. And Kryon says we're waiting for younger people to come around, younger than I am. I believe that because I know so much about what the young people are thinking. Social media, different for me as a senior, and the reaction that I've been seeing from those who are under 40, and the youngsters, as I call them, is phenomenal. I'm seeing wisdom that I never saw before. I'm seeing ideas we never thought would occur. Ideas that are supposed to happen when you're older, we're getting from the young people. So when Kryon says so much of the planet is waiting for the young people to get into important positions, and the teachers and all, I believe it. I really believe it. And I congratulate all of you for the high thinking and the consciousness and the compassion and the prayers that are going out right now for all of those in trouble during this war. I would include the Russian people, please, because right now, what I know, what I've seen, been there, is they're either not fully aware, but this is not what they want. This is not what they want. Of course, the Ukrainians are under such pressure, and the death that they're seeing and the horror that they're seeing. We haven't seen that for 75 years. Not like this, not on a world scale like this. And this is what I want to talk about. I want to tell you something. Kryon told us that the old energy, define it, this is it, you've seen it, would flail and start up like a child who was having a tantrum to keep this planet from growing up. Kryon said that over and over. I can't tell you how many channels that he said, watch the dark side. They're not going to go easily. That the light on this planet is starting to show. And in showing it, there are those invested in the old energy because it pays them well. And the corruption is all they're interested in. The control is all they're interested in. And you're going to see it, and you're going to see it everywhere, not just in the war. You're going to see it in corporate matters, in other politics. You're going to see it in our country, in other countries. Perhaps we already are. But the point is right now that I want to tell you is that all of this has startled everyone. But take a look at the reaction to light and dark right now. The surprise and the shock, although it was big, came with something else. And that is really something I wanted to talk about. It came with a planet that said no. It's still saying no. We don't know where this is going right now. But even when Switzerland, which has been neutral forever, takes sides, when some of the ones we thought countries would do one thing and not another, they're even looking at it and saying, well, maybe we'll wait and see. It's so inappropriate, and it looks so inappropriate. And we know it's inappropriate, that you know it's weird, it's odd, it's the darkness, it's those invested in old energy trying to keep the light at bay. They don't want it. They're seeing it coming, and they're saying, nope, not on my watch. I'm not going to let it happen. This is probably going to continue, because I don't have to tell you, there's a lot of old energy, darkness out there. And it'll try to attack us. It'll try to say that we're crazy. It'll try to do all manner of things. And in the process of all of it, watch this. You want to know how to judge it? If you want to judge what is right and what is wrong, look for compassion. Look for love. Look for kindness. Look for understanding. Look for non-judgment. Look for unbias. That's going to tell you where the light is, not necessarily what they say. I want you to look at what is being done, and that's going to tell everything. Is there love there? Is there compassion there? Is there kindness? It's something that we don't often talk about. I've been channeled for 33 years. This is what I talk about. This is all I've ever talked about. It's not a cult. If somebody says, you follow Kryon and it's a cult, tell them to go to my website, either website, KryonMaster.com, Kryon.com, and look for a place to donate money. There isn't one. We believe in an energy exchange, products that cost a reasonable amount, and that's how we make our living. That's it. We're not donation friendly. It's not a cult. It's a time where we get together to anybody who wants to listen, and we talk about love. And we talk about how to better yourself through love and kindness and compassion. That's all we've ever done. That's what we're going to continue to do. And those who see us who don't like it, they find reasons. We're biased, we're this, we're that. All we want to do is tell anybody watching, there are better ways in this life to handle it than have ever been thought of before. We can be kind to one another. We can love each other. And it has an energy which is contagious in the field, and others like catch it. It's like laughter. It's like joy, where it's catchy. And you smile and others smile. And you laugh and others laugh. It's like that. I know I'm oversimplifying it, but cultures are like that. The more kind we are to one another, eventually politics will get that way too, and we'll realize we better be more kind to each other or people aren't going to like us. The dirt is showing on the planet when the light turns on. That's what's going on. Hang in there, folks. It's going to get better. My heart wishes, everything is really to those who are in suffering right now, all over the planet, but especially in this war-torn area where I stood. I really feel it. It's hard not to think about it, but I am sending all of those of you, love, who are hearing this right now are in trouble. It goes to those who are experiencing health issues, abundance issues, but right now I want just to say that, especially with what is on the news, which I'm still not watching, I'm reading it, is just unconscionable. So let's continue to send light there so it'll be over soon, and see that in the field. I see that in the field, and may not be in the way you think. And Kryon has mentioned that as well. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for listening. Thank you for loving each other. I'm going to close now to say what Kryon has always said. He says, I am Kryon, in love with humanity. Me too. Thank you.